So you need to learn how to tie a tie. I'm Ezekiel with Slyde, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through tying 3 different tie knots. These are essential tie knots that'll work with just about any shirt collar and will have you looking good in any situation you find yourself in. I'm going to walk you through tying the 4-in-hand, the Windsor knot, and the Prince Albert knot. So let's go over some in front of a mirror and I can show you how to tie these 3 knots. The first knot that we're going to cover is the Windsor knot. This knot looks particularly good with a spread collar shirt because it's a thick, full-bodied, symmetrical knot that fits the space between the 2 points of a spread collar very nicely. So go ahead and drape the tie behind the back of your collar, making sure that the wider end of the tie is on your right-hand side. Give yourself plenty of length on that wide end of the tie. And go ahead and wrap it over the narrow end of the tie and feed it up and through that neck loop that you just created. After you do that, you're going to go ahead and wrap the wider end of the tie down below the narrow end of the tie, up and down through that neck loop. Go ahead and pull that so you form what is a nice triangle base. Then go ahead and wrap that wider end of the tie around the triangle that you just created. But this time, make sure that you keep 2 fingers on top of that triangle base. This is very important because you're going to need to create space there for this next step. After you wrap it over, now you're going to feed it down through that space you created with your 2 fingers, pulling the wide end of the tie down. And there you go. You got the Windsor knot. As you can see, it's a nice, symmetrical, full-bodied knot. Now you just need to make some adjustments to the knot here. As you're tightening that knot, always pull the tie away from you at a 90-degree angle and tighten the knot that way. Go ahead and push the knot and pull the narrow part of the tie that's underneath. So what that does is it helps maintain a more 3-dimensional shape and keeps that full-bodied look. Whereas if you pull down on the tie to tighten it, it's going to create a flattening effect and not make it as full of a knot. And there you go. As you can see, it fills in the spread collar very nicely. Alright, the second knot that we're going to do is the Prince Albert knot. This has quickly become one of my favorite knots because it is a full-bodied knot, but it's slightly asymmetrical and has a little bit of layering to it that adds an additional visual appeal. So go ahead and start by flipping your collar up and drape the tie around the back of your collar, making sure that the wider end of the tie is on your right-hand side. Again, give yourself plenty of length on that wide end of the tie and place 2 fingers on top of that wrap that you just created. Go ahead and wrap the wide end of the tie over the narrow end of the tie, making sure that you keep those 2 fingers in place. Now you've wrapped it once, twice, and you're going to wrap it a 3rd time in the same direction, up and around that narrow end of the tie. After you do that, you're going to go ahead and feed the wide end of the tie up and through the neck loop and pull it down through the space that you've created with your 2 fingers. Go ahead and pull that wide end of the tie down and through, and you've just created an asymmetrical Prince Albert knot with a couple of layers to it. Now go ahead and adjust the knot, tighten it by making sure that you pull the tie away from you at a 90-degree angle. That will help keep a 3-dimensional knot and not flatten the knot. After you tighten it, make some more adjustments so that the different layers of the knot are visible. And there you go, Prince Albert knot that works very well with a variety of different collar types. The third and final knot that we're going to cover is the 4-in-hand knot. This is a classic knot and most likely the first knot that we all learned to tie. It looks particularly good with a button-down collar or a point collar because it is a more narrow knot that doesn't take up a lot of space. Go ahead and start by flipping up your collar and draping the tie around the back of your collar, making sure that the wide end of the tie is on your right-hand side. Now go ahead and wrap the wide end of the tie over the narrow end of the tie and place 2 fingers on top of that wrap that you just made. And wrap the wide end of the tie a 2nd time around that narrow end of the tie, and this time feed the wide end of the tie up and through the neck loop you just created. Now feed it down through that opening that you made by placing your 2 fingers on top of that wrap. After you've done that, you've created the 4-in-hand knot, and all you have to do is adjust the knot. Again, pull away from you at a 90-degree angle. I like to make sure that the dimple is prominent and neatly displayed. It adds a little more visual appeal to the 4-in-hand. And there you go. As you can see, the 4-in-hand is the most narrow knot of the 3 that we covered today, and it works really well with a button-down collar shirt like I have here. Now you're ready to go, and just make sure you don't forget to use your shoe slide wallet shoehorn so that you don't ruin your shoes as you put them on.